In politics. Fetterman as a nominee at some point for president. I know there's some variables, obviously, but
here we go. Fetterman as a nominee for president. So the true blue MSNBC reporters, I'm going to show you what they had to say because I, for one, I'm surprised I can even talk right now. Fetterman, he won the Senate seat in Pennsylvania, a man who can't put a complete sentence together because he had a stroke and he's still not 100% there, if you will. But MSNBC is hopeful. They are hopeful, and they believe that John Fetterman may be the face of the Democratic Party.
I also think he ran everywhere in the state, which is a lesson for Democrats. He left no stone unturned, and he ran as exactly who he is. I mean, I have no doubt that if John Fetterman were sitting here, if he were in a bar, if he were with his family in a restaurant, he'd be exactly the same person. And voters completely see through that. So that is also a lesson for Democrats, too. This is a guy, you know who he is, you know what you're getting, and that ultimately matters in politics.
Fetterman as a nominee at some point for president. I know there's some variables, obviously, just a few. But I just, what he did in the super red, deep red parts of Pennsylvania, and the way that he ran ahead of Biden, as you were saying, ran ahead of Trump. I mean, it just makes you wonder about his future.
Yeah,
what are we doing, or what are they doing? These people cannot be serious that they would think that John Fetterman would be a potential nominee for the presidency of the United States. I can't even comprehend what they're thinking. We have someone in office right now who cannot complete a sentence, and he supposedly has all his marbles, okay? We all know that's not true. Everything he says, So he's not all there. We know it. Everybody knows it. And the White House certainly knows it. But these deep blue Democrats from MSNBC believe that John Fetterman would be a good contender candidate for the presidency of the United States. We all know this man suffered a stroke, and that sucks. It sucks for anybody. I do feel bad for the man because he's not there. He doesn't know what he's saying. He can't read a teleprompter. He can't write a question, and he certainly can't answer a question. But because he ran and won over Dr. Oz. Now, Dr. Oz is not a politician. He's just a rich guy who tried to win a Senate seat to maybe do something good, and he lost, and he conceded, and I'm okay with that. But for these journalists, I'm going to use that term loosely, they believe that John Fetterman could win the White House. They've got to be kidding. Okay, but because he ran, as Jen Psaki put it, he ran as who he is. He's a regular guy, whether he was sitting there in the studio or you met him in a bar, he is who he is. Yeah, okay, he is who he is. He's a man who should not hold an office, especially an office in the United States Senate. Yeah, he was a mayor back in the day, and he's a lieutenant governor currently, but that's before he suffered a stroke. So I don't know anything about John Fetterman, but I'd like to believe that he was a lot sharper before he had the stroke. You saw him in the debate, you saw him during campaign rallies. His wife did all the talking. She answered reporters' questions because he could not. And I've said this before, that I believe, and Biden also said it, Biden said that she would make a great senator. So it's my belief that John Fetterman was elected to the United States Senate because he is going to have to step away and walk away from office because he's not going to be able to handle it. Because his thought process has slowed, every function he has slowed because of his stroke. They will then hold a special election in Pennsylvania, and his wife will be elected to that Senate seat. I truly believe that. It's been said on many, many networks, and especially the mainstream media. She has throughout the whole campaign. She did live television interviews. She invited reporters into their home where he wasn't even there. Wasn't even there. And when you see him in videos, he's always sitting in a corner, something to like where I'm sitting with a white brick wall, and he's always wearing the Carhartt hoodies and the shorts, which I got no problem with that. That's comfort to me. That's dressing up to me, a hoodie and a pair of shorts. But how on God's green earth could anyone believe that this man could be the president of the United States? I do not know. I don't know. But they said that he ran in the very, very red parts of Pennsylvania. He ran higher than Biden did. He ran higher than Trump did. Did people vote for him because they feel bad for him? Because maybe he's a great guy. Maybe he's a great guy. But that's not going to make him a great senator, especially because of his medical condition. So if they voted for him for sympathy, shame on them. And again, I don't know anything about Oz, okay? I don't know if he would have been any good, but anybody could have or should have been better than John Fetterman to win a seat in the United States Senate. I don't know what people are thinking. I hate to say that the votes weren't counted accurately, but everybody has their conspiracy theories about things. But I do know one thing, that John Fetterman should not hold an office in the United States Senate. Quite frankly, I don't think he should even have a job because he's disabled now. We all know what a stroke can do to someone. And again, I feel bad for the man. He's a young guy and he had a stroke, which has totally hurt everything he has to do. And that's sad. But for him to be in the Senate and try to do the right thing for the people of Pennsylvania really, really baffles me. I don't know what these voters were thinking. I don't know. I don't know. I just don't know what else to say other than this was a poor choice for a candidate. I think they knew that going in, but I don't think they had anybody else who could possibly beat Oz. So they went with Fetterman with his disability now because of his stroke. And they knew they were going to get possibly the sympathy vote and get him elected to the United States Senate. And again, if that is the case, that's a damn shame. This is what our elections are all about. You're going to elect somebody because they have a disability, even though you know they can't do anything for you. The state of Rhode Island did it. We had a congressman for many, many years who was confined to a wheelchair. And as far as I'm concerned, he did absolutely nothing for the state of Rhode Island. He finally gave it up. And they just elected another guy who's not going to do anything. He got elected because of his name and because he's part of the Clinton Democratic machine. I know it. Anybody who's from Rhode Island knows it. It is what it is. Rhode Island's a deep blue state, And unfortunately, it's always going to remain that way. But John Fetterman was the wrong candidate. He will never be a qualified candidate for the presidency. And we all know Joe Biden's not a qualified candidate either. But again, the Clinton political machine, all the deep blue Dems spending millions. We got to get this guy in. Got to get him in. Out of all the candidates that were running for president when Biden won, they chose Biden because they knew they could do whatever they wanted, and he wasn't going to do a damn thing about it because he doesn't know what's going on. And that's it. Drop a comment. Let me know your thoughts on Fetterman, because I think it's completely laughable that they would even say something like that. This guy hasn't even got sworn in as a United States Senator yet, and they're already talking about him being a candidate for president. Give me a break. These people need to go back to school and do some studying, because this guy is not. He is not the man for that job. Never mind. That's it. That's all I got to say. Thanks for tuning in. If you haven't already liked this video, please hit the like button. Subscribe to my channel. Hit the notification bell. Share this video with someone if you will. Again, drop a comment. Let me know what you think about Fetterman. I appreciate all your support and for tuning in. Hope everybody's healthy and safe. Have a great night, and we'll see you soon.